Hi, Fida. So we've got car owners who are the customers here. Don't have time to go to the garage, and don't have time to call around for quotes. This is the problem that you're solving for them. Your problem is finding early adopters. Okay, the key to finding early adopters is for you to figure out what steps these people are taking to try and solve this problem now. So I want you to put yourself in the shoes of someone who is too busy to call around for quotes and is too much of a hassle to take their car into the garage. Put yourself in their position. Now think about, what would you do if you were trying to solve that problem? Early adopters, by definition, are already taking action to try and solve the problem. So if you're having trouble finding them, either it can only be for one of two reasons. Number one, you haven't thought about where they're trying to solve the problem. If you can think about that, you can go reach out to those channels and then you can try and find them. The other reason it could be that you're having trouble finding them is that they simply don't exist. So that's the point of doing the customer discovery phase, the interviews, the problem discovery phase, is that we're going to front load any startup failure you might have into that very first interviewing phase. So by getting out of the building and going talking to customers, you're going to determine, is there anyone out there who's actually struggling with the trouble? I'm too busy to get quotes for the MOT. For anyone who doesn't know, MOT, I had to look it up. It's like your emissions test in Britain. So it may be true that people are too busy to get quotes, but that doesn't mean that there are early adopters. Just because there is a problem doesn't mean there are people trying to solve it. Okay, so with that in mind, let's talk about your landing page and how it addresses and can help solve this problem for you. So first off, overall I like the design. So it's short. It's nice looking. You've got your phone number up here, which is nice, so it makes it really easy for people to get in touch. The first thing I notice when I come to the page is this headline text, which is great. It means that you have full control over what I see. Now, the downside is compare MOT garages. That is what you do. Like, that's your functionality, but it doesn't really grab the emotional core of what your customers are trying to do with their lives. Like, why is this even interesting? This is like very functional. What you're offering is just, and it tells me a couple things. Number one, it tells me that you maybe have not found your early adopters and you probably haven't had conversations with them. Because if you had conversations with them, you would probably change this text from something around here, like what you actually do, to something more emotive, something that has to do with their emotions. Like trying to balance a busy family and keep your costs down, or the renewal for your registration is coming up. You get the cheapest something or other, because the idea here is that you're targeting people who are obviously cost conscious. And so why are they cost conscious? Why is that a problem? So I think we need to go have these conversations with people who are actually trying to solve this problem, and then use those conversations to drive this this language up here. Okay, so find the best prices. Okay, so normally if I'm on this page and I'm just looking, my attention is drawn here. I probably skip over this and I come right down to here. Step 1, search. Step 2, compare prices. Step 3, something or other. Interesting. It's interesting that there's like steps here, but I can't click them. They don't move on their own. That's not a big deal, but just FYI, I just noticed that these and this is also kind of hard to read, these other ones, but whatever. Okay, so Auto-efficient benefits. Is this this is the name of your company? Okay, great. So benefits, collect and return, choose selection. Okay, it's quick, simple. Okay, so you're very feature heavy here. Like, you're just describing what you do. You're not describing what you do for me. So like, don't worry about missing work, or don't worry about getting a rental car, or talk about how you're going to help my life as a customer, not just what service you're going to provide. Okay, so now moving on. Happy customers. Okay, so testimonials are great. They mean that you have their age. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe that's a British thing, culturally. That It's just weird to me. Like I don't care about their age, but I mean maybe like what their job is. If they're too busy, let's talk about jobs or something. Like why are they too busy? Mother of four, father of 16. Like why are they so busy? And then auto efficient. Okay, so this is down the bottom. Oh, okay. So videos. So for what it's worth, I don't have time to watch the whole video. But I personally despise videos that are modal like this because now I can't look at the rest of your page. Like so I'm stuck watching your video. And we can do it with the audio off here. So it looks like you got a little explainer video. Um, okay. So oh hey. Okay. So this could be nice. But for what it's worth, like I'm wondering why it's so far down the page. Like why do I have to come all the way down here to see this? But it could be good. Okay, so overall, I'm going to recommend first step first, don't change a thing on this landing page until you can find your early adopters and do some customer interviews. After that, use that information to update your copy, and then there's just minor tweaks. Keeping the formats the same, maybe moving this up, and then just minor tweaks throughout. But really, we got to find those early adopters if they even exist, and use their language to change this. Great job.